Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. A record 399 new cases of COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. This story takes the lead in our 1107th edition of Caribbean Perspective for Friday, 7th May 2021. Details after this break.
Did you know that your friends and family can now shop at the Food Fair from anywhere in the world? And you can receive here in Grenada? The Food Fair and GrenadaMarket.com now make it possible through secure online shopping and personalized customer service. Simply send your loved ones a list of your preferred items or let them fill an online basket and the items will be available for pickup or delivery. Visit GrenadaMarket.com or thefoodfair.gd today for more details. The new norm. Spread the news.
Welcome back. Close to 400 new COVID-19 cases in Trinidad and Tobago were announced by the Health Ministry on Wednesday, as the COVID-related death toll stands just below 190. TV6's political editor Joel Brown spoke with the Health Minister about a new record the nation does not need. The minister is urging people to stop looking for loopholes in the public health regulations and for people to only leave their homes as needed.
The numbers are startling. On Wednesday, May 8th, the Health Ministry announced a record 399 new COVID cases in Trinidad and Tobago from samples taken from Sunday, May 2nd to Tuesday, May 4th. Even more disturbing, the Health Ministry says the COVID-related death toll in the Twin Island Republic now stands at 189, as there were 4 additional COVID-related deaths. 2 elderly males, one of whom had comorbidities, 1 middle-aged female with comorbidities, and 1 middle-aged male with comorbidities. TV6 News spoke with Health Minister Terence Dial Singh via telephone to find out what the nation can expect regarding the surge over the next few days or weeks.
I can't say, I don't have a crystal ball, but it's something we are watching, and it's something we have been warning the population about since the rolling day average was 3 and people just relaxed. And every time it went up to 16 and 30, we were appealing to people, do not take this as an opportunity to drop your guard. We were doing this months ago, and here we are reaping the rewards for our collective failure to adhere to the public health guidelines in both the public and private settings.
The opposition says the nation is reaping the rewards of Easter. The Prime Minister said Tobago is not to blame and that the Caroni and Victoria counties were areas of spiking community spread of COVID-19 before Easter. But is the ongoing COVID surge part of the anticipated surge after Easter?
We are still in that. It's not an Easter surge. It's a surge of our behavior around that time, before that time, and after that time. We can't blame Easter. We have to put the responsibility on how we behaved and conducted ourselves, not only at Easter, but in our private settings. By having parties at home, weddings at home, birthday parties, gatherings, all that contributes to it.
Given the warning from Health Ministry officials that the nation was at the brink with regard to the 542 hospital beds in the parallel health system, TV6 News posed a question to Minister Dial Singh about what contingency plan could be put in place if the COVID surge continues at its present rate, or if there would be any difficulty to put such contingencies in place.
It will be difficult because I said clearly we will not be treating people in our regular hospital system. People have to get with the program now and just shelter in place. Don't come out unless you are going to the grocery, the supermarket, or to work. That is what we have to do to dampen demand, because hospital space and hospital workers is a finite resource with an end.
The announcement of the record 399 new COVID cases occurred on day 2 of the new, more stringent measures under the present lockdown.
The worse this gets, the more the population needs to follow it. And stop looking for loopholes in the guidelines to converge. I mean, you would be amazed how many people write me for exemptions to this type of business, that type of business, this type of gatherings, looking for loopholes. Now is the time not to be focusing on the regulations, but focus on our individual and family behavior.
Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
In the meantime, Barbados recorded 31 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday from over 600 tests conducted. More in this Barbados Today online news item.
These include 1 female and 30 males, including 24 males of the psychiatric hospital. These 24 cases reflect the retesting of staff and clients of the ward who were placed in quarantine after a known male outpatient of the ward tested positive on April 28. The quarantine staff have all tested negative and have been cleared to resume their work duties. The 24 clients will be isolated and managed on site. Testing on the wider staff and client population continues at the facility. Of the 7 additional positive cases, 1 individual exhibited respiratory symptoms and presented to the Wilde Gymnasium for testing. 3 persons were discovered through community contact tracing, and the additional 3 cases were visitors to the island. All positive cases have been placed in isolation.
Frustrated former Barbados-based Liat employees were offered a lifeline by the Mia Mottley administration after being sent home for more than 400 days without a cent in severance. Details in this Barbados Today online news report.
This follows talks this afternoon between Prime Minister Mottley and a large number of the ex-workers. The workers are expected to start receiving a one-off gift of $2,000 by next week. The statement issued this afternoon by the Prime Minister's Press Secretary Roy Morris said the gift will give authorities time to put other measures in place that will offer further relief over a much longer period. In addition, the workers who were paying into the Antigua and Barbuda Social Security Scheme and are entitled to severance under that country's laws will also be given a loan by the Barbados government that spreads out over a year. Morris said they will receive an advance of $2,000 per month from the government of Barbados. The sum must, however, be paid back from any eventual severance settlement.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
St. Lucian-born economist Dr. Hyginus Jean Leon on Tuesday began his tenure as the 6th president of the Barbados-based Caribbean Development Bank, the CDB. Leon, who replaces the Jamaican Dr. Warren Smith, who had been in the post for more than 10 years, said that his priority is supporting the bank's borrowing member countries, BMC, through the novel coronavirus COVID-19 recovery, while advancing the bank's mandate to contribute to the harmonious growth and development of member countries. Leon, who spent more than 20 years with the Washington-based International Monetary Fund, the IMF, said he also intends to promote cooperation and integration among the member countries. He said his vision, which will require shared responsibility and contributions from regional and external stakeholders, calls for a comprehensive development approach across the region. In a statement, the CDB said that Leon, who holds a doctorate in economics from the University of Southampton, had gained considerable exposure to diverse and challenging economies and complex socio-economic and political circumstances through his employment with the IMF. He was also in charge of the IMF programs and operations in Nigeria, Zimbabwe, countries in the Gulf Cooperation Council or GCC, and most recently Tanzania. Prior to his tenure with the IMF, he served as Director of Research at the Central Bank of Barbados and economist with the CDB, the statement noted. Notwithstanding how quiet the La Soufrière volcano in St. Vincent has become, it is still releasing more than 1,000 tons of sulfur dioxide gas into the atmosphere, a far cry from normal for an active volcano that has gone to sleep until next time around. More in this SVG TV news item.
This was revealed on radio today by lead monitoring scientist monitoring the volcano, Dr. Roderick Stewart, who said that measurements of the gas were recorded 3 days ago, and while there have been no explosions for more than 2 weeks, the gases indicate that the volcano is still in a state of unrest.
We've had a number of measurements, and I think on 3 or 4 cases they've been above 1,000 tons per day.
Yes.
And in other cases, they've been as low as maybe 300 or 300 or 400 tons per day.
Okay.
And these are all measurements saying that there is gas coming out. It really needs to get down to 100 or less than that to be more of a background sort of thing. But, so the levels we've been getting are above what you'd expect if the volcano was going back to sleep.
Dr. Stewart said that they cannot rule out the possibility of an explosion within a 24-hour period. He added that there needs to be a further analysis on the crater, to better understand what is taking place. However, the seismologist maintains that for the time being, it is safe for persons to return to the orange zone once authorized.
So the volcano is seriously putting out gas, and we really need to get a look into the crater to see exactly what's going on, to see if we can resolve the gas and the seismic. So until we've got more information, really not in a position to say we can have a total relaxation.
Okay, all right.
But as we discussed yesterday, that doesn't stop us allowing things in the orange zone. So
yes.
Red zone still has to be a no-go area.
Okay.
The orange zone is okay.
Lahars, or mud flows, were observed coming down from the flanks of La Soufrière yesterday, following pockets of light to moderate showers. Dr. Stewart reported that the lahars were strongest between 11 a.m. and 12 noon yesterday, which came down with destructive materials. He said the monitoring team was on the ground and experienced the lahars firsthand.
A couple of my colleagues were up near the Wollevoet when it was happening, and they said at one point there were boulders that were 5 meters in diameter. That's 15 feet diameter boulders being rolled down by the lahar. And it was undercutting banks, it was taking trees down, and it was steaming, like the ones we saw last week. Was it Thursday? Some of the time the lahar was steaming, which indicating that there was hot water in there.
Yes.
So yes, it's very spectacular and very, very damaging.
Rivers were flooded in the north, including the Raboka River. In a press release issued last evening, the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, said stations at Jennings Valley, South Rivers, and Majorca recorded over an inch of rainfall over a 6-hour period, and that soils were still saturated from the heavy rainfall event last Thursday.
Hubbard's big promotion is back. Live free for 1 year. Spend $50 or more in any Hubbard's department and receive a chance to win big prizes every month. Property or vehicle insurance for 1 year. Free internet, cable, and data for 1 year. Free fuel for 1 year. Free cooking gas for 1 year. Free electricity for 1 year. Free drinks for 1 year. Extra cash account and the big free groceries for 1 year. Promotion runs from April 1st to September 30th, 2021. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Solgas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola, Grenada Bottling Company, Grenlec, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny and Supreme. Terms and conditions apply.
I am Eddie Frederick, wishing you a restful weekend. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.